Hey folks, it's Ryan out here on the ranch in Arkansas. As conditions get drier and our forage supplies are getting shorter and we're having to start feeding a little bit of hay. The 1st of August is definitely an early time to be start feeding hay. We'd like to wait until mid to late December. But we got to keep our cattle fed. This year's drought hit at the wrong time and we just weren't really able to stockpile any forages at the beginning of summer. And so we're kind of running pretty short on grasses for the cattle to eat. We got to keep them fed and keep them producing milk for their calves. So we've got a couple of pastures we started feeding hay to, and there's several different ways to feed hay, but our idea is to minimize our wastage, especially when supplies are short. And we want to be the most efficient that we can when we're feeding hay. So I kind of wanted to show you a couple things, a couple different ways of feeding hay. This hay bale right here was fed on the ground, and as you can tell, the cattle trampled it quite a bit when they were eating it, and the center of the bale is still there, and there's going to be a lot of waste on this ground. And not only is a lot of wasted hay, but we're damaging our forage stand in the pasture that's underneath this pile. The cattle will trample it and smother out some of the grass, and so likely next year this will be a patch of weeds. And we could go in here and burn this hay pile off after the cattle pick it out and tromp it down, and that'll help a little bit of recovery, but there'll still be a wasted spot. And I got a couple spots over here I can show you. When the cattle, these were bales fed last winter on even in a hay ring, there's still a lot of damage to our forages and everything. So one way to prevent this is rolling out bales, and some producers will roll out hay, and that spreads your organic matter out across the pastures, helping to fertilize your pastures, and it also keeps from damaging your forage supplies. This is another method of feeding hay using a hay ring. You can use a metal round ring to go around the hay bale, and the cows stick their heads in and to eat the hay, and that keeps them from trampling the hay. But it also leaves a big pile of hay in the middle. We can use an upright feeder like this one. This will lift the bale up a couple feet off the ground. The cattle are able to reach the hay underneath a little easier. But there's still some waste with this. So rolling out is probably the best way around here. It takes a little more labor, a little more time when we're feeding hay. But if we don't overfeed the cattle, they should be able to clean up this pile of hay pretty easy. So there's a lot of different ways to feed hay, a lot of ways to conserve hay, and we're trying to minimize our waste. So it's just whatever fits in your opportunity, or whatever fits in your operation, whatever equipment you may have may make it the easiest way to feed hay. So I know drought conditions aren't only in Arkansas. Large parts of Louisiana and Texas and Oklahoma and New Mexico have been affected as well. So how are forage supplies in your area? I know some places are pretty wet. Or have you started feeding hay already as we move into August? So let me get some feedback on this. I'd love to hear from different parts across the country. And be sure to join us on Wednesday nights on Twitter. We're going to have a Hay Talk chat. Use the hashtag HayTalk, all one word. And we're going to be talking about different aspects of hay production, hay storage, hay feeding, weeds, and different management styles across the country. This will be a really great way to talk with livestock and forage producers across the country. Only an hour and a half out of your Wednesday nights. It'd be a great way to network and meet people across the country. So I invite you on Twitter. Look me up. It'd be AR_ranchhand, or you can look up the hashtag AgProud to look up my post. So I invite y'all to come join us Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern on the Hay Talk chat on Twitter. Hope y'all have a great week, and we'll talk to you later.